Hey friend, it's Ange here, and today on the podcast, I'm going to be very vulnerable with you, and I'm going to share a story about a time recently that caused me a lot of stress. And the reason why is because I believe, looking back on it now, that I stayed in a situation much longer than I should have. And all the signs were there that it wasn't in alignment anymore, but I didn't listen to the signs. And I'm sharing this with you because I see this a lot with my clients. I see my clients staying in situations when the signs are all there. It's like not in alignment. You're not feeling good about it. You have to talk yourself into it every day to stay in it. You might be telling yourself, if you're like me, some lie, I'm going to call it a lie, that what you desire isn't actually out there, that you're not going to be able to find that. Maybe you're asking for too much. Those were some of the lies that I was telling myself in this situation. So I want you to relate this to whatever situation that's coming up for you as I'm talking about this. Sometimes it's relationships, sometimes it's work stuff. All right. My goal is not to shame anyone on this episode. I want to be clear about that. I don't want to put bad energy out there. I just want to tell you what happened to me. And my hopes are that you learn from it and apply it to your situation. Okay. So what happened is Monday night, it was a Monday night, and I was coming back from a weekend of hiking with my family, and I had a speaking event on Tuesday morning. So my husband took a long weekend so we could all do this fun trip together. Before we had left, I had talked to my au pair who was she's been caring for my son for almost a year now. Some of you may know this. And let me just back up here if you're not familiar with what an au pair is, because I wasn't before. So I used to think it was like a fancy thing, like fancy nannies, and only like the really wealthy, fancy people got this thing. That's not really the case. The au pair is basically a program that is set up where if you live in the U.S., this is my situation at least, you live in the U.S., you can bring someone from another country to come live with you. And it was a cultural exchange experience, meaning the person gets to experience the U.S. They also get to have some education here that you also help pay for and make sure they get done. And then they also provide care for your children. And in exchange for this, you're also going to pay them to provide the care. And you're going to pay for all their living expenses. Again, the education portion they choose to take. And then in our case, we paid for the phone, we paid for our car insurance, obviously the care, food, all the things, right? And then they live in your space. So it's not like it's free. There's a huge exchange here happening, and emotionally too. So this person had been living with me for almost a year. And I had sought this out as a childcare option because I wanted my son to really learn Spanish. And I also wanted him to have one-on-one care and have someone that's very attentive. And selfishly, I wanted to be able to see him regularly while I was working. And I work from home and I do get to do work that I really love. And I was like, oh, I can stop, take a break and go for a walk with him and give him hugs and kisses. Like, this will be a great situation. And also, I chose this because I thought I had exhausted all efforts in my community to find the care that I was looking for. And I say I thought I have because this has got me thinking, where I have clients sometimes that will tell me, like, I've tried all the things and I still can't find it. I've tried all the things. And usually they have not tried all the things. I would say 100% of the time they tell me that they have not tried all the things. And that was a situation for me too. I had not tried all the things. So I'm coming back. This person had been living with me. Let's tell the story right. Friday before we left, we had a conversation with her about how she was feeling. Is there anything we can do to make her experience better? We're like, let's do regular check-ins. I just want to make sure we're all feeling good about this situation. The reason why we also said this is because I felt inside, y'all, that I couldn't trust her. And I knew she was planning something. And I really truly believe that it was going to screw us over. And I felt inside like she's going to do something and it's really going to affect. I just had these snaky vibes, but I didn't have anything to prove it. I just intuitively felt that way. And then there were some concerns I had about the care for my son towards the very end of her care for him. Like she was on her phone a lot. There was a lot of things where I had to repeatedly tell her like big safety things like don't leave knives out. And it would be like, oh shoot, I forgot, and it'd be like, this is the seventh time I've said this, like this is a big deal. Or the pot turned where he can grab it with boiling water. Like I had to repeatedly say those things. And it wasn't like she was like that before, because that would have been done way sooner. It was like towards the end. And I'm like, things are shifting. And I felt that. So we end up leaving. This is where the dates come in, Monday to Tuesday. So Monday night, we come back from our trip. And as we're coming home from a really fun weekend hiking with our family, I get an email from the au pair agency that tells me that my au pair had vacated my home, packed everything up. She wrote me a note, and she dropped out of the au pair program. And I was like, what? I just talked to her. She told me on Friday, this is Monday, that she was really happy. Everything was going well, because she was lying to me. And also she just received her paycheck. So she wanted to make sure that check cleared, because the check was for the upcoming week that she had not worked. So she wanted to keep that money. And then she also had asked for an advance pay of vacation, which we also gave to her, even though I knew she was lying when she was asking for it. But I didn't listen to myself. So the whole point is that she had taken this money that wasn't hers, right? And that was the least of my concerns, truly. What bothered me so much when I got that email was that the lies and the fact that I didn't listen to myself. That's what bothered me the most about getting that email. And I had my speaking event that I really cared about on Tuesday morning. The next morning, I had my speaking event. And this is like my first event, like back into the game after like being postpartum. And I was like, what am I going to do? Because I didn't have any childcare. And she knew that. She knew that the following day I wouldn't have childcare. And it was Monday night. And it's Tuesday morning, right? The next morning. So like I just felt so stressed out. I start bawling in the car. My husband is like, it's going to be fine, Ange. We're going to figure it out. And I'm like, I know we'll figure it out. But I just feel like so stressed, because I don't know who's going to watch my kids for the upcoming commitments I made. I like don't even know how to handle just, in so many hours I'm going to be speaking, and I don't know who's I was all this worry that was kicking in. And thankfully we called my mother-in-law. She showed up that morning really early, was able to watch them. We don't have family that live close by to us. We don't have like a big support system. So the other part of it was like, I knew I was coming in to talk about energy, like I talk about, but like, I was like, my energy sucks. Like, keeping it real. That's how I was feeling. I was so stressed out, but I knew this is an opportunity. God's like, here's your opportunity, and to practice what you preach, to show up and be like, I'm going to be intentional about what I do with my energy, regardless of what is happening around me. I get to decide who I want to be in that. And I want to show up in a way that makes me proud. So I asked my favorite energy shifting question: how would you show up? Or what would make you proud of how you showed up? And I was like, what would make me proud is if I showed up with like this authentic energy. And I was like, this is me being real about like the hardship of life sometimes and all the things out of our control. And this is me shifting energy in the moment. So I actually used it as a story to teach to other people. I didn't go into all the detail that I did here, but my point is that I was like, I was very intentional about where I was directing my energy. And I was telling myself things like, God's going to provide for you, Ange. Yes, you might not know who's going to provide care like the next couple of days now for the other commitment, but it's all good. He's going to provide for you because he always has. And that's my higher level of self-thinking. But let's backtrack here, because that wasn't what I was thinking before. Because there was times throughout the care that she was providing for my son that I didn't trust her. Like, I repeatedly would tell my husband, I get snaky vibes. I don't trust her. I don't like the fact that I don't trust someone who is living in my home. Like, I hate that feeling. And my husband was like, well, what do we do? Like, I don't know what to do because we don't have another option. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I tried try to find care. Like, I was acting like what I desired wasn't out there, that God couldn't make it happen for me. And that's why I had to settle for that situation. Think about that in your life. Are you settling for a certain situation because you're believing that what you desire isn't possible? It's not out there. Or maybe you're asking for too much. That's the lies I was telling myself. But as soon as this happened, literally like in 2 days after it happened, I found amazing care for my children. Like care that I was like, why didn't I go after this sooner? It was like an answer to my prayer, of course. 2 spots opening up for my infant, my toddler, with an amazing curriculum, people that love on him and her that want to be there. And it's cheaper than what I was paying before financially and energetically, just freeing up the space for me, even in my own home. But I didn't see that as a solution, y'all, before. I wasn't looking for it. I was believing this lie that what I wanted wasn't possible for me, that I couldn't find it, that I just had to settle for this, that wasn't in alignment. Even though my body every day was being like, oh, I hate this. Like, this isn't feeling good. So this is where I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about where you might be feeling that way. And I want to ask you this. Are you believing that what you desire and truly want isn't possible? Because if you're believing that story, you will continue to settle for things that aren't good for you and aren't in alignment. And I want to remind you of who God is. Anything is possible. My childcare situation, small potatoes. Your career stuff, small potatoes. Your relationship stuff, small potatoes. In the grand scheme of things of what he can create in your life. So what I learned from this story was, 1, listening to my intuition sooner. Holy Spirit, always there, providing me wisdom. You ask for wisdom and you're going to get it. Is it going to always feel good when you hear it? Because I remember the last time I felt like that, this is a long time ago in my life. It was when like my boyfriend at the time had cheated on me. I had asked for wisdom around what to do in that situation. I remember feeling like a punch in my gut. It's like when I found all of it out, I was like, I knew that. I knew it. And that same feeling was there. It's like my intuition was already telling me that. The Holy Spirit was showing me signs. So you might be feeling that in your life. But then again, think, what would you do in this situation if you believed anything was possible? And every desire actually means of the Father. It means from the Father. Like it was given to you, that desire, that vision you have for something greater, that was given to you because it's possible. Like if you believed all of it was possible, what would you do in the situation you're in? I'll tell you what I would have done. I would have ended it so much sooner. And I would have really committed to bring in my true vision into reality, doing whatever it takes to make that happen for me. Because I can tell you, I wasn't doing whatever it takes. I didn't exhaust all efforts. I had a story that I did, but in reality, I didn't. And I hear those stories all the time from my clients. They'll be like, I've tried everything and I still can't get what I'm looking for. And you're like, have you tried this? And they're like, oh no, I haven't tried that. And it's like 100% of the time they have not tried everything. Even just having a conversation with someone that would lead to this amazing opportunity, they haven't even tried that because it was so uncomfortable. But we run this lie, like we say we've tried all the things. And I didn't try all the things. So there's some lies there that we're believing. And that's a big, big work of the enemy too, to believe all these lies that keep you stuck where you are. So the belief part is huge when it comes to designing the life that you really want. The first part of it is you need to believe it's possible for yourself. And how do you do that? You just simply look around and see evidence that like God makes anything possible. Why wouldn't he make this kind of thing possible? Like it's not like he can't do it, right? So there you go. Believe that. And then decide to be committed to being the person that brings that into reality. Like, what if you were willing to do whatever it took because your life depended on it? Like, truly, in this situation, I act like my life didn't depend on it. My life did depend on it because my energy did. Having someone in my home that I didn't trust, who was providing care to my son, that was very concerning at the end. I didn't get into all the details around that. But like, my life, the quality of my life depended on my energy and how I felt every day. And even the care for like the people I love the most, like my life did depend on it. The same thing if we relate this to work, like if you went after getting the kind of work that you or designing the career that you really love, like your life depended on it, you'd have very different results right now. Very different. And your life does depend on it. That's what I want to remind you of. The quality of your life does depend on it. And you as an energetic being showing up wherever you are, you're bringing that energy into the spaces that you're in. And then their life is affected by it. The people you love the most is affected by it. They're affected by your beliefs and your commitment and your energy. So bringing this back, once I shifted and started believing that anything was possible for me, and I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the care that I want. I did this very quickly. Oh my goodness. all these doors opened up. Like there's like exactly what I was, well, beyond exactly what I was looking for. Let's say like it met my vision, but it was better than I thought it would be. Cause I wasn't thinking that it was going to be like, oh, I'm going to save money in this process too. I'm going to be able to feel so much peace in my body. Oh, they're going to have a curriculum. They're going to be learning like in this way, like what, all these things. Like I love examples of where we set a vision, but what comes to be is better than what we thought it could be. I've seen that so many times with my clients. I've seen it so much in my own life. But how it started for me, it usually starts like this. A situation that's not in alignment for you. Your body gives you all the signals that it's not in alignment. You know it's off. You try to talk yourself into like staying in the situation, trying to be all positive, trying to see past things that you know aren't good for you. Like all that stuff kicks in. Telling yourself a story around it's not possible. And then usually this is like a pattern that happens. And then crap hits the fan. And then you got to really decide like who you want to be in the situation. What would be awesome is instead of the crap hitting the fan, you actually was like, I believe all things are possible for me, and I'm committed to doing whatever it takes to bring that into reality for me. And then you're on it. You don't have to waste that time, in between where you're like dealing with crap that you don't need to. Just shift to believing that it's all possible for you, because there's tons of evidence that it is if you look around the amazing world around us and what's been created. And then being committed, and ask yourself, I was truly committed to creating this for myself. What would I do? How would I show up in this? What would I invest in? What would I do with my time? What brave things would I do here? The reach outs you probably have to do. The connections you would make. Like even in my case, that's what I had to do. I had to be brave and have conversations, make new connections. And because that's the thing is like whatever it is you desire, I promise you, God is going to have other people involved in helping bring that into reality for you. And it's going to benefit their lives too. That's just how it works. Goodness all around. So you gotta be brave and talk to the people. Like everything I've ever created in my life that I've been so proud of wasn't like I was like solo creating it. Like no, I was like in contact with other people, having conversations, being brave, talking to people when I felt stupid, trying to find resources. But that came, again, remember, it stemmed from this belief that maybe it could be possible for me. And then it stemmed from a commitment, an intentional commitment to doing whatever it took. And that led me to being brave enough to do the next things I was going to do. Okay, so you see that effect there. So I want you to think about this as it relates to your life. I know you've been settling in some area. I know you're telling yourself lies around how it's not possible for you, how maybe you're asking for too much, you're not worthy of it, that BS Satan stuff, I'll call it. I know that's showing up for you somewhere. And then again, I'm asking you, what would you do if you believed all things were possible because they are, and you were committed to doing whatever it took to bring your desires into reality? What would you do next? What would be different for you? And I just want to remind you that it's not just you that's affected by this. It's all the people that you love. Because even in my situation, I look at it now, it's like, look who gets the benefit from this, my babies. And even that's why I love helping people with their career stuff, because it's like, it's not just you that benefits, it's all the people that you love. All right. I hope you have an awesome day. Please send this to anyone that you feel like needs to hear this. Talk to you soon, friend. Bye.